Alright, Theory and Theology, what's up? Happy Halloween. I owe you guys one. Sorry, I should have posted this earlier, but I just thought about it a bit after my workout today. I was like, let me post this. So, I'm gonna tell a story. It's a true story. It's not too scary, but it's probably about as weird and creepy and mysterious of a story as I can tell. Um, about my life, of something that happened during the month of September 2023. So I don't think I need to put a trigger warning on this. It's really not that intense. But if you don't like mysterious kind of stories, uh, you might not like this one. But um, yeah, I really don't think it's all that scary. So I've explained it to some friends, some family, and I think I've posted it elsewhere online. But I just wanted to tell this story. So, those of you who know me, who've been following kind of my updates and things, you've probably gathered or I've mentioned that, I've been in LA for a while, since about June of 2022. That's originally where I was raised, and then, I had moved to San Diego for quite a few years before that, and my plan is to move back. But during my move, I've been you know, getting better job opportunities and just kind of setting myself up for more success in the near future with the economy as it is. I really had to make some decisions as far as like needing to move out of that house with all those wild people and needing to kind of get a job where I could afford my own place in San Diego, which is pretty pricey of a city to live in. If you want your own apartment, you've usually got to, if you want to, have a pretty decent place, you need to be willing to dish out probably about 1,700 to $2,000. 1,700 is pretty low. There aren't that many apartments. At least if you look at Zillow, there aren't that like the cheaper the apartments might get, the more people are applying to them. So it's really hard to, compete with all that. So usually it's like if you go a few $100s more to like the $2,000 range, that's usually where you're gonna have better luck. You're gonna get more bites, and people like responding to your applications and everything. You're not just wasting like 30, 40, $50 applying to these apartments. So my plan is to get back over there, but I want to, I'm using this year to get like a better financial footing, so I'm staying in LA. But I still go to concerts and I still meet up with friends in San Diego, and I still save money and plan to get out there and go and meet my friends. So there's this music festival called Crossed, CRSSD, and they have multiple events throughout the year, and one that's like at the very beginning of fall, like late September, is it's another Crossed event. So the last time I was in San Diego was like, let's say it was like September 24th or something, around that weekend. I don't know the exact date, but around that weekend. So, and because I haven't had a very stable car situation, like I have a car that I can drive around LA, Orange County, but I probably wouldn't want to take it, all the way to like out to the mountains or to the IE or like down to San Diego. Like it's kind of like I try not to take it very long distances unless I actually have like an appointment or like an interview or like important plans. Like I don't drive like 100 something miles one way just to go party. So I've been taking the bus when I go to San Diego, or I'll rent a car, or I'll take the Amtrak. So it just depends what's going to be more convenient. But I found out that Flixbus, while it takes longer, it is actually the cheapest route, and I can catch it in Long Beach, meaning that I don't have to go all the way north downtown, like an hour almost out of the way, just to go south. You know, instead I can go like to Long Beach, and that's closer to San Diego, and then leave from there. And so, the bus ride's like what, like 19.99 one way. Not a bad deal. And with gas prices as they are, that's a pretty dang good deal. Um, and I usually get a hotel that's like within walking distance of the station. And so I've done this a few times by now. And so I'm like, okay, I kind of know the process. I'm not like nervous or stressed out about it. So that's the backstory. September comes. I'm ready to go to this concert. I'm ready to get down to San Diego. It's Friday morning. I catch the bus at like 11. I'm planning to get there by check-ins around 3. And so, I travel with a backpack with a little duffel bag. Sometimes, both. Sometimes just the backpack. And this time when I'm traveling, I'm on my way back because I finished the event. I'm on my way back. I had a good time. Um, and so I'm not like rushed. I'm like, I don't need to check in at a certain time. I'm just going back home from San Diego to LA, but I'm, getting dropped back in Long Beach and then gonna Uber from Long Beach to my place. And so I'm on the bus. It's going fine. Flix bus doesn't really tell you, 110%, like, are there going to be stops that take longer? Is there going to be extra traffic? So sometimes the expectation of what time you're going to arrive is a little bit off. And they have other stops sometimes. And so, you know, and the bathroom on board was not working. And so, you know, I'm like, okay, we're not that far. We're in Orange County. We're good on traffic. It's like a Monday. My bus left at 11:30 on Monday from San Diego. I'm chilling. I'm like, I don't need to be anywhere. I just need to get back home. I'll get back before the school traffic, hopefully, because that starts at like 3 p.m. So I'm like, okay, if I can get back by the time the schools get out, I'll be golden, because I won't have to deal with like 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock traffic, because LA sucks. It has traffic. And so you really got to work around the pockets of traffic. And so I get on this bus and, I'm sitting on the bus, I'm chilling. Now, when I first get on the bus, there's only one lady behind me. Um, the bathroom is, when I'm walking in, it's all the way on the back left. When I'm going into the bus, she's on the back right against that back little wall. So I sit like maybe, let's call it like 4 or so chairs in front of her. There's a lady right in front of me the whole time who is on her phone, um, talking in another language. I know what language it was, but I don't understand what she's saying at all. So I'm like, I'm not too bothered by it, but she's talking out loud on a phone call for a good hour or so. Um, and the whole time, only that one lady is behind me. Um, First stop, we stop somewhere in La Jolla, I think. I don't remember, but let's say we stop in La Jolla somewhere for our first stop. This maybe couple or friends, get on the bus. It's a lady of one race, a guy who was African American. They get on the bus. They sit one seat behind and diagonal, on the other side. So when they walk in the bus, they sit to the left, and I'm on their right, on the other aisle. And so they're the only people other than the lady behind me that's behind me for the whole rest of the ride. We stop in one other place after that. We stop by the Angel Stadium. I don't know what the stop is called, but it's in Anaheim. It's an Amtrak stop. You can see the big Angels Stadium A from their parking lot. Like, you can see it like it's opposite from where we're parked in the bus across the freeway. And they're like, okay, like, they're telling the bus driver gets some announcement. We have to stay here an extra like 40-45 minutes because, something. I don't remember what the reason was, but there was some kind of reason. And it was unexpected, but it wasn't like a bad thing. It's like, okay, we're going to have a longer than usual delay because usually they just drop off whoever's getting dropped off. At most, I've seen them wait maybe 10 minutes tops, but usually it's like a 5-minute wait. And so usually you just stay on the bus, because you're like, whatever, I'm not trying to like get left behind. And sometimes they will leave like a couple minutes early. So it's like, we're there, and I'm like, you know what? They're like, you can get off the bus. There's a snack stand inside. There's bathrooms and everything. And I'm like, okay, I have my stuff up top, and I'm like, I don't have a computer or anything in there this time. I just have my clothing and maybe like, some extra toiletries and stuff. And it's not like super nice clothes. It's like my laundry from the weekend, basically. And I don't wear like super expensive name brand stuff, nothing. So I keep my stuff up there. And this whole time, I've had this water bottle in front of me, like one of those water bottles you get in like a flat of 24. I brought this water bottle with me. Because when you're in a hotel, the hotel I was in, I just had water bottles all the time. So I'm drinking from this water bottle um, while I'm at the hotel, but then I bring it on the bus with me, and it's full. I remember it's full because I carried it because I was gonna put it in my backpack, but I carried it the whole time, and I remember it being full. Thinking to myself, okay, don't drop this because those bottles have the little caps that are flimsy, and it's gonna, it'll bust open if it falls. And I didn't want to put it in my bag because sometimes they leak because they don't like. It's hard to tell if it's properly closed. So I'm like, there's a little pouch in front of the seat, like a little net pouch where you can like see everything through the pouch, but it just holds your stuff in place. So the whole time I'm on this bus ride, that water bottle is sitting right in front of me. And you know how different brands have like a different little sticker? Like some of them say purified water, some of them say First Street, some of them say Arrowhead, like whatever the brand is, it's on that sticker, that the little banner around the middle. So the water bottle's been in front of me this whole time, and I'm like, whatever. But on the bus, I wasn't drinking it because I'm like, okay, like I don't want to get in a predicament where I'm like, I need to go to the bathroom, but the bathroom on board is broken, and I don't know where we're stopping or whatever, like how long we're gonna be there, and I typically don't get off the bus. But I'm like, okay, it's gonna be too inconvenient for me to bring my stuff off board and go in the bathroom. So I'm waiting, I'm thinking, and I'm like, 10 minutes pass by or whatever. Nobody's really getting off the bus. The people who had at La Jolla who had gotten on the bus come out, start coming off from their seat, and they go in. So now there's no one behind me at all. They were diagonally kind of one seat behind me, so I could kind of see them when I just looked over. The lady that was behind me on the same row, all the way in the back, she was still there when I got off the bus. I get back on the bus, and I'm like, oh, like, I look and see how far is Angel Stadium from the Long Beach stop. I'm like, oh, we're like really close. So, since I went off the bus, used the restroom, came right back, um, and I'm like chilling, in my seat. And I reached for my water because I'm like, by this point, I haven't had water for like a few hours, like probably like almost 2.5, close to 3 hours. So I'm like, well, I'd be fine if I reach for my bottle and drink from it now. And I'm reminding you, it was full when I put it in there. And I reach for it, and I look at it, and there's like maybe 2 inches worth of water at the bottom. And I'm like, you know, I think I did take the cap off of it, and I was like, wait a second, this was full before. This was a completely full water bottle. And then, I put the cap back on, just put it back, in the little net pocket in the seat. And I'm like, I'm not going to drink this. And then I take a closer look around the floor or touch the back of the seat. I'm like, maybe it had leaked, right? Maybe the water had leaked out, maybe there was a little hole and I didn't notice, and for a couple hours it's been leaking. So I touch the seat, completely dry. It looks completely dry. Nothing looks like it was even touched. I look around. I make sure, okay, this is the exact seat I was sitting on, because I remember I took out my earbuds and I put them on the seat. And I'm like, the earbuds are there. So this is definitely my seat, and my bag's still up on top. I look, on the floor. I'm like, maybe it leaked on the floor. Nothing. And then I realize this water bottle has a different sticker on it than the water bottle that I brought into the bus. This is a different water bottle. This is possibly someone else's water bottle. And so I'm now just kind of like really confused. So I text this funny story to my friends, and I'm just like, this is weird. I take a picture of the bottle, in the pocket, and I'm like, I explained this whole story by text to them, because I'm just like, this just happened. Like, what the heck? Am I like losing my mind? So that's kind of the end of the story. I didn't drink it, nothing happened to me. I kind of have a bit more street smarts than that, and I kind of knew there's the risk of somebody going through your stuff, the risk of somebody stealing your crap, the risk of somebody taking your bag completely if you get off the bus and leave your stuff unattended. Like, it's nobody's responsibility but your own. But, I had a water bottle there. And when I did get back on the bus, those people, that couple that had gotten off the bus, um, weren't back on yet. And the lady who was sitting behind me, I noticed she wasn't back there anymore. Now I didn't notice until I went to get off the bus in Long Beach that she was sitting like probably like 5 rows forward, because I didn't really get a good look at everybody. Um, but she was sitting 5 rows forward. When I was getting off the bus, I walked past her and I saw her. And I was like, oh. So what I think happened, I could be wrong, but what I think happened was she passed by my seating area. I can't verify what happened, but like the most likely person, because she had to pass by my seating area while I was in the bathroom. She had to pass by my seating area. Now, it could have been anybody on the bus that went back there, then went forward or got off the bus or whatever. But I know for a fact she was the only one behind me when I got off the bus, to use the restroom, and she was the only one that had been behind me that it was now in front of me when I left the bus. And so she probably walked past my stuff and either took my water bottle and drank it, or thought she was being slick and had some kind of, I don't know, she could have been trying to roofie me. There could have been drugs in there. Who knows what was in that little water bottle? And there was just a little bit of water in it, which is that's what tipped me off, is because there was so little water in it, and I had left pretty much a full water bottle in. It was a refilled water bottle. It wasn't brand new, but it was refilled, but it was put in that pocket, and it wasn't. And the brand like that she left was a different brand that I had put there. A different brand than what I had put there. So, you know, and I'm not gonna say it's anybody's fault but my own. I mean, you're not supposed to leave your stuff unattended, but I was just thinking, it's a water bottle. Like, it's plain water. Who's gonna take your water and drink it? They have water fountains inside. She could have gotten off the bus and drank water, if she really needed to refill her water, if that's all she had left and she was just replacing mine with hers. But I think that maybe there was some kind of substances on it or something, or in it. That's worst case scenario. I don't really know. I didn't drink it. I didn't take it off the bus with me. Nothing. I just left it there in the pocket. And um when I passed by her, I did notice her when I was getting off the bus in Long Beach, and I just kind of looked at her, but I didn't like stare her down. But I was just kind of surprised because I thought, oh, maybe she was sitting behind me, but maybe she got off the bus because it's a bus stop. People get off the bus. I don't know what people's plans are. So that's my little Halloween story. Um, I don't really know what to make of it. I don't know. You guys can think about what it is that you think happened. Do you think she had put something in that water bottle? Do you think I'm just losing my mind? Do you think it leaked? Do you think I completely forgot the brand of bottle that I had brought with me? And like, what do you think? What do you think happened? The reason why I say it was a different brand of bottle is because when I first got to San Diego, I was a little bit early, and so I went to like Marisco's, like this seafood, you know, Mexican restaurant, because I was in Old Town, you know. So I'm like, shoot, there's good Mexican food here. So, I was like, why wait 2 hours outside of the hotel when I can just go to this, you know, go to this restaurant, sit here, eat for like an hour, go to the restroom, just relax. It was raining too when I first got there, so I was like, what am I gonna do, so I was like, this is more chill, just to like sit here and eat and like stuff my face with fajitas. Um, and I remember they gave me a water bottle that was Kirkland. It was Kirkland brand, but it was in Spanish. Everything on the bottle was in Spanish. I remember that specifically. And I remember them giving me that water bottle at the restaurant, and I remember drinking out of that water bottle, finishing it, refilling it the next day when I went to the concert, and then I tossed that bottle because I was like, I've had this on me the whole time, had it in my pocket, and from that time on, I had purchased more water, and then I had a different bottle the next day at the music festival. So I know that first bottle that I got that was Kirkland with the writing in Spanish on it, I knew I had thrown that away, but the bottle that was in the bus when I came back to my seat, the one that was only like 2 inches deep with water, was the same type of like Kirkland water bottle with the Spanish writing on it. I'd only had one of those ever, that I remember, because I remember seeing that and I was like, oh, this is interesting. It's in Spanish. And so I remember thinking that, and I got it from that restaurant. When I ordered water, they gave me a bottle of water, and then yeah, that's the first time I saw one of those. So it kind of caught my attention. It wasn't just like any water bottle. And I do specifically remember, you know, telling myself, okay, when I use a water bottle out and I'm out all day, I'm gonna throw it away when I'm done with it, because it's like germy. Like, I don't want to bring this into my hotel and be like reusing it when I've been like touching it with like dirty hands all day and stuff, and like using porta potties without like proper soap or whatever, and like still touching the water bottle cap and everything. It's like, by the day's end, this is over. This is a done water bottle. I'm not going to keep refilling it. I might be at risk of like getting sick or something. Like, I don't really know. It's like, if I have more water bottles, why keep reusing the same one over and over like that? So I specifically remember this, that I didn't have the Kirkland water bottle anymore, and this water bottle was a Kirkland water bottle that had the Spanish writing on it. So, and those are the only two bottles I've ever remembered seeing that have the Spanish on them. And so, usually we don't get those water bottles. We usually get First Street brand or Sprouts brand, and so we don't usually venture outside of those two types in our house. And so whenever I have extra water bottles on me, they're never going to be the Kirkland ones. And so, I don't know. That's all I got. That's all my information for this story. There is a slight possibility that I could have. I mean, I didn't drink the water. I know I didn't drink the water. There's a slight possibility it wasn't mine. There's a slight possibility maybe it leaked everywhere and then dried up because it was cold in there. There was air on, but it was cold air. But I don't think it would have leaked. I don't think my memory is that bad because I remember like weird little stuff like that, and just how that lady that was behind me was no longer behind me anymore and was up in a seat like way up closer to like past the middle, and she would have passed by my seat, like somebody would have passed by my seat. I think she just switched the bottles out. I'm pretty certain of it. um or somebody did. If it wasn't her, it was somebody, because it only happened when I was off out of the bus, and um I noticed it because there was so little water left. And then when I looked at the bottle, I was like, oh, it's Kirkland, and it says all this stuff in Spanish, and I was like, but I didn't bring a Kirkland brand water bottle, and mine was full. And I remember if it would have only had that amount of water, I probably would have stowed it away in my backpack. I wouldn't have been carrying it, because I know myself and I wouldn't have carried it. And I remember even specifically when I was like waiting to get on the bus, I had put the water bottle in my pocket and it was like weighing down my pants. I remember that. And so, because there was this guy that came over and he was like talking to me about like copywriting or something. And I was like telling him about a good YouTuber who teaches about copywriting. And I had that thing in my pocket and I kept like pulling up my pants. I remember that. And I think I put it in my pocket so I could show him online like where the YouTube channel was, so I could use like both hands on my phone or whatever. And so, yeah, I weird story, right? See, it's a little mysterious. It's not really scary, I don't think. I think it could have taken a scary turn if I wouldn't have noticed, and I could have potentially drank something dangerous. But be careful out there. People are getting a little wild. Um, I don't really know. It's all speculation. It could have been nothing. Maybe it was just some thirsty person who needed more water and was trying not to leave me with nothing, because then I would notice that there was no more water. Maybe she just really needed water. I don't know. Um, I don't think anybody went through my stuff. The backpack I have has a lock on it, and so I usually keep it locked. Um, and because there was nobody else in the back, if somebody was tampering with my things, nobody in the front would have seen it because we were like multiple seats behind everybody, and she would have been the only person back there at that point. There were probably a good like 10 seats or more in front of me, in front of her, between the back of the bus and like where there would have been some actual other person sitting. um because the lady who was sitting right in front of me on her phone initially, she had gotten off the bus earlier. So I don't know, guys. I don't know, but I don't really have much more to say about that. Happy Halloween. That's my Halloween story. Sorry, I don't have anything better than that. um if I can try to think of one tonight, I'll post it, but I don't think I have a better story than that one. Not of something recent that I can really think about. I do have a story about my Halloween earthquake, but I've told that story before. I wouldn't mind telling it again. Um, so I might tell that one again. Because it's just fun. And creepy. It's a little odd and creepy, but maybe I'll tell that one next. So, all right, guys, happy Halloween.